Hi, I'm Paige.
I'm Leslie.
I'm Colton.
And I'm Rachel.
This is our presentation on Mr. Paisley's trip to go to Corvallis, Oregon, to see the eclipse at totality.
We started off with some basic questions such as, where is Mr. Paisley going and what route will he take? He went to Corvallis, Oregon, and he took Route Highway 101. Then we determined some other questions, not as easy but not hard either. These questions were, how far will he drive and how much fuel will he need? He drove 656 miles and he will need 51.92 gallons of fuel.
Next, we answered, how many times would he need to fill up his car? And what was the average speed he went to and from? He needed to fill up his car 6 times, and he was going around 65 miles per hour. Then we were asked that we weren't able to find the answer for, and that was, can we apply longitude and latitude? Then we were asked a question that took way too much research to find, and that was, when was the last time he saw the eclipse? That was around May 20th, 2012.
Then the questions got a little easier, like, where will 2 eclipses coincide? It was Salem, Oregon. Then they got harder, like, can you use both metric and USS systems? Or can you read topographic maps? Or where will the worst traffic occur? And the answers were that we can slightly use both metric and USS systems. We can read topographic maps, and also that the traffic would occur around Florence, Oregon.
And the last question was, will Mr. Paisley be back on Tuesday? And with a lot of estimating and guessing, this was what I got. He will be back on Tuesday, but not before 8 a.m. Napa to Eureka took 5 hours, 43 minutes, by 8:45 p.m. Friday. Probably booked a hotel. Eureka to Depot Bay, 7 hours, 39 minutes if he left the hotel around 8 a.m. Saturday and got there at 3:30 p.m. Probably will be at Carlton's for a day. Depot Bay to Corvallis was an hour and 21 minutes, probably left around 9 o'clock this time Sunday, 10 and got there at 10:30 a.m. Assuming he went to Corvallis for the solar eclipse, he might have spent the night. Solar eclipse was around 10 to 10:15 a.m. was probably left around 11:45 a.m. Monday. Corvallis to Eureka took 7 hours and 6 minutes and got there at 6 p.m. Spent the night, maybe must have left the next day around 7 a.m. Tuesday. Eureka to Napa was 4 hours and 49 minutes and got there around 12 p.m. Tuesday. He will get back Tuesday, but not before 8 a.m.
The graphs we did were the trip to Corvallis, the trip to Napa, and we also did the miles per gallon graphs. On the trip to Corvallis and the trip to Napa, Mr. Paisley made a lot better time to Corvallis than he made back to Napa. You can see in the graphs here that he went above the average time it would have taken to get there and below the average time it would have taken to get back to Napa.
The miles per gallon graphs are shown here. Here you can see that Mr. Paisley stayed about even on the amount of gas he used, with a bit of increase on the way back to Napa, which means it was a roughly smooth drive home with less stops. On the way to Corvallis, the amount of gas that he used was not consistent amount. You can tell when he made stops and when he was driving for a significant amount of time. But overall, you can see that the graphs have a similar incline to them, which means that the trips were relatively the same regarding miles per gallon.
This concluded our presentation on Mr. Paisley's road trip to Corvallis. Thank you.